Okay, take two. So, my last video, I've got the Sena Bluetooth BacPac on right now. So the audio worked with this setup here. What failed, this is my fault, is I turned on the external mic thinking, oh, let me get some motorcycle sounds. Come to find out that it was basically way too loud and it was overriding my voice. So, I turned off the mic on the Sena, so it should just be picking up ambient sounds now. Oh, it's not even what I wanted to grab. So when I came to a stop, there was no wind noise or external, craziness going on. The audio quality wasn't horrible. I mean, I think I have to talk a little louder. I was kind of talking a little softer before. So I don't know, when I'm riding, I'll probably be yelling. I'm not going to go on a super long ride today. Actually, I don't even think I need this. I'm just going to go solo. So the day is overcast. I know I said yesterday, not that I'm going to post that one because the quality was so horrible, but yesterday was the last really super nice day. I mean, it was like perfect yesterday. And I turned off the white balance that was effing up my Lake Wallenpaupack video. That's a shame too, because I don't think I'm going to reshoot that freaking thing. I mean, that was like a labor of love ride. And maybe do it with some friends. So right now I have my face shield open. So it's going to be probably a little louder wind noise than usual. I'll close it up a little bit later on. Everybody's looking at me like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. He's riding a bike. It's going to rain. I checked the weather. It's just going to look crappy today. It's going to start raining tonight, so I can still see some blue in the sky. I'm not scared to ride in the rain anyway. I would have worn my air and dry gloves if I thought it was going to rain. All right, close the shield there. So I don't know. I just try to get in as much riding as I can when the weather allows. And I don't know. I don't know if I would be riding as much because, like I said, I'm trying to get these settings for this GoPro proper. And the only way to do it is to test it out. So I got the battery extender plugged into my USB charger down there. Angle configuration worked out as best as it can get. It does record my voice. I can hear and have my phone connected, and the GPS instructions actually come through the speaker in my ear pretty darn well, enough for the Rode mic to pick it up. Like I said, the music was not being picked up as well when I was riding, and I think that's the I think that's the road lowering the sound for some reason. Something's lowering it. Because I can hear it just fine, even though like the wind noise in my helmet factored in. Through the speakers, I can still hear the music audibly, fine. It doesn't go down or drown out in any way. But it's just weird that it's the music that does that. My voice, it doesn't drop at all. So it's not a tone thing. It's almost like the microphone is interpreting music as being played and lowering it at high speeds for whatever reason. Like I said, it's not a motorcycle microphone. It's not designed to be used in a wind tunnel. It was supposed to be used in like an auditorium, like dead quiet style. So we'll see. I remember when I took my MSF course, those things are hard to get into, by the way. You gotta like book those things like years in advance. But I did get in once, and I had to do it like I decided to do it like on a 2-day crash course, as opposed to like dragging it out for like a week or something. The only place I could do it was like way out in the sticks. It was like an hour from here. And I wasn't going to try to do that ride back and forth every day for a few hours. I think it was like a 16-hour course you had to take. And I decided to do it 8 hours a day on the weekend. So it was like, the first day was like classroom instruction, and then the next day was all on the course. Now, don't you know, I'm trying to think when I scheduled that, what time of year? It had to have been like towards the end of the year. But it rained torrentially. It was, I mean, if you looked outside and saw it raining like that, you would not get on your bike and go for like an 8-hour ride. It was nonstop torrential rain. It just did not stop the whole time. The course was flooded. I mean, they had those like flat little orange like pancake pylons that you had to like, sneak through and stuff. Yo. Them shits in the rain was no fun. And I asked the guy and gal, there's two people training us. I was like, are they going to cancel this? Because this is a pain in the butt to get this class. They're like, nah, we can't cancel because it's so crowded. There's nowhere to reschedule you. Like every day is like booked. Like they're super busy. So come rain or shine, you're taking that course. And I was like a little hesitant because I was like, come on, dude, like I've never been on this bike before in my life, and now you're having me ride 8 hours in the rain through like tight obstacles, figure eights and donuts and all these drills around pylons, stopping short, like brake checks and stuff, like ugh. And it just rained the whole time. Everyone was soaked. No one brought like real rain gear, even though we knew it was gonna rain. I ended up going to like the Walmart, and thank God they had a rain suit in my size. It was like the last one, like extra large, because I needed some kind of like I need a little bit of movement, because I'm sitting on a bike and. I had to wear it over my clothes, so it was almost like an overpant kind of deal, jacket. It was one piece. And But my gloves were not waterproof. So that was about the only thing that got soaked. I just kind of, lived through that. But my clothes were dry for the most part. Getting on the bike, a wet seat, because you had to get off sometimes and, take a break or something. When you come back, your bike is just soaked. Sitting on a wet seat is so uncomfortable without, rain gear on. Let me tell you. I got caught in a cloudburst from work one time. And, oh, my God. I was like, I had no rain gear on. I just had a jacket. And, my full gear. I had armor on, but it wasn't waterproof. So I just said, F it. Everyone was looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, well, it wasn't raining when I came to work. And they didn't say it was going to rain per se. They said it was like a 10, 15% chance maybe it'll rain. It sure rained, all right, 100%. And literally it only rained from the time I got on my bike at work and stopped when I got home. I was like, come the F on, really? And then the sun came out. So it was just like, nature was just like, testing my skills that ride. Turns and stuff, I take a pretty twisty ride home in the rain. Oh. So I came to a stop. I looked at myself. I was drenched in water. I was like, F it. I'm just going to roll with this. And I just did a mental disconnect that I was uncomfortable and wet. I just rode, I mean, I know I was still riding in the rain. I wasn't being reckless. But I took out that uncomfortable feeling, clammy, and just like did the deed as best as I could. Cause oh my God, dude, that shit was like ugh. So I've got my I guess I don't need it. I got my sunscreen down. I usually just do that to look cool. Like part of the cool part of wearing a helmet is like you can like be all tinted out and ninja. No one knows who you are. When you got like a clear shield up, everyone can see you. Feel so exposed. So but I don't care. That was kind of like the reason I got this helmet is it serves dual purpose. I can, ride in like overcast days and just flick up the visor and still have like my clear shield down. Or if it's real sunny, I'll just drop the visor and still have my shield down. And when I'm slow and sunny, I can just take the clear shield up and have my internal visor down. That's really temperature cooling. Because when I had my Shoei RF1200, which I loved, by the way, limitations on that was, like I said, the whole reason I went this angle is because I was getting caught like in situations where the sun wasn't out. And I was rocking that like super dark smoke shield, which is, oh, that was so cool. It was like, you couldn't see in that thing to save your life. But I liked it because, it was dark. But, trying to use that in like weather like this is not the best idea. I mean, the sun is peeking out. But also, I like to present myself as responsible. And I've seen a lot of cops pass me on days like this. And they see I have full armor on, so they don't usually bust my chops. But when I had my visor up, and they could see that I was like, riding according to the weather. I think I even got like a nod from one guy one time. And that kind of led me to believe that, you know, cops do profile riders, because they probably ride too. And you fall into like a stereotype. You know, you could be a squid with just a helmet and flip-flops on a Gixxer, which is fine. I personally don't rock that method. And besides, I like wearing armor and all this gear. It reminds me of being like a fighter pilot or like a Star Wars like TIE fighter pilot or something, or X-Wing pilot. Like as a kid, I always liked those, like the outfit that those guys wore. The helmets were always cool, like the TIE fighter helmet. It was like a black stormtrooper helmet with another helmet on top of it, kind of deal, with the hoses going into the chest plate. I thought that was the coolest thing. Like the look of it would just appeal to me. And even the X-Wing pilots with their yellow visors. I don't know what they were doing for oxygen, because the TIE pilots had their shit together. It's like the TIE fighter doesn't have any kind of internal, you know, oxygen system, so you have to like kind of pack your own on your suit. And I guess the X-Wing has, you know, cabin oxygen, hence not the masks, which I just think is stupid. But then again, if you're in space, it's not like, you know, you get a crack, you're just pretty much dead anyway. I always thought that they, like in movies and stuff, they kept the actor's face open a lot, so you can see the actor, and the actor can get props for being in the movie and acting. You can see him. Or you can put on the credits like, here's me, you know. It's good for your next film. So if you're all like in a war movie or some kind of, you know, you're in a vehicle, like an aeronautic, you know, like a plane or something, you gotta, I mean, you see like our military pilots, they look like stormtroopers pilot helmets. Like they're all like visored up and pressure suited up and hoses and tubes everywhere, face masks. So you don't get to see their face. And that's what was interesting, like in the Top Gun, you know, I guess we all know it's Tom Cruise, so he doesn't need the thing, but like you need to have your face covered, dude. Don't be taking that shit off. Besides, it's their mic. I mean, I see them like, you know, dangling it from their neck, and then when they need to talk to their wingman, they just kind of bring the, you know, mouthpiece up to their mouth and say something, and then drop it again. I don't know. All gear all the time, goddammit. But I like wearing the gear. I like wearing the gloves. I like the boots. Like I always try to choose jeans with at least knee pads in them. I mean, yeah, you could say, you know, I'm preparing for the fall, and which is true. I mean, why wear a helmet if you're not going to wear all your other gear? I wear this gear not really for myself. I wear it for the stupidity of others. I don't trust these cars. I've seen too many stupid maneuvers. And I've said it before, some people just don't like, they get offended at the idea of a motorcycle on the road with them. It offends their I don't know what it offends their sensibilities or something. They don't like it. And it goes with road rage. And I'm sure you can find stories about people smacking up motorcycles for whatever reason. The last one I heard was, it was a woman she was just riding. I think it was at night though, but still, I mean that's even less of an excuse because there's like this big red dot in front of you. Don't tell me you don't see that. And the car on, I guess, in the middle of the road or something, midnight road, decided to rear end her. Like they were the only two on the road, and just rear-ended the bike, and then the bike went flying and killed the rider. I forget what the rationale was. Like, oh, I didn't see them, or maybe they were drunk, or I forget. There's some. I'm sure they got in trouble. I didn't really follow up too much into it. I just heard that, like, in the news story, that car rear ends kills woman biker. I was like, what the? Like, when you texting, knowing there's a motorcycle in front of you at night? Like, I don't buy that she didn't see that motorcycle. Maybe in the daytime you could argue that, because a lot of times motorcyclists, their gear is not high vis, and they kind of blend into the scenery. Not an excuse to rear end the bike, but I would buy that a lot quicker than in the middle of the night where you see the bike's headlights in front of it. And I might as well get gas. I don't need it, but I don't feel like stopping off. I like to have a full tank. Like, I'm not going to stay out very long today. So, just recording. Yep. Okay. So, and of course, now that I've got my, settings tweaked for the brightness adjustment. Now it's overcast, and it was always fine in the overcast because I have ridden and looked at it a few times. But I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. Got another hour. Really? Usually, the whole point of this is I don't have to do all this extra typing and crap. You start seeing things like villages. That's when you know you're way out there. But they have, when I was in Central PA living there, like, they didn't have a lot of Wawas out there. They had Sheets. I was like, the hell is that? And Sheets is kind of like a Wawa competitor. They're great. Like, I always found their store is super clean. I don't know if that's like a thing. But so they have all these, sheets everywhere, which is fine. It's almost identical format, gasoline station, come get your little Sizzly equivalent. Let's do this real quick. Yeah. And so, so it's just like Wawa Sheets. And then occasionally you'll see like a Royal Farms, which is also kind of like a similar format. The only Royal Farms I went to was in Maryland, Baltimore. Seemed to be popular down there. And so then lately I've been noticing like this weird, it's almost like, so the Sheets, color scheme is all red. So you can, it's really easy to not to miss. Red everything, sheets, red, 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 red. Red border on the building, and the tanks. I mean, it's just red everywhere. That's their color. So, and then I think it was like yellow lettering. So when I went to, I forget where I was somewhere, and they had this. I could see in the distance. Oh, there's the sheets. I could just tell by the colors. When I got up there, it was called like, instead of sheets, it was called like bunnies, or I don't know, something ridiculous. Randalls or Ridley. I was like, but it was the same color. It's as if someone went into a sheets and just changed and just put like a different name on it and left everything else. I was like, is that like legal? Is that like a franchise? Are they subdividing? Why don't they just all be sheets? Like there's a 7-Eleven, it's just a 7-Eleven. It's not like 712. Brand, color. Like that's just copyrighted. Like you can't bring another can of soda to the market that's red and white cursive lettering. Talking about koala cola. Coca-Cola would sue you left and right. So I just thought that was interesting. And then I started seeing a few more. I was like, oh boy. It's gotta be sheets must be like subdividing their stores or something. I don't know. I don't get the reason for it. So lastly, I'm rocking my new Divinci balaclava. I forget the actual model. It's the one where it's got like the two seams coming from the bottom of the eye port, like where your cheek creases would be going down. And then instead of a seam going straight down the center, it's got two seams off to the side of your head. So far, so good. I had one. I'm finding the balaclavas with the seams like straight down my forehead on extended rides. They're starting to get really annoying, and they're leaving like a mark on my head, and it's just super uncomfortable. But I like the concept of the balaclava, especially with the COVID, because if I go into like a sheets or bunnies or whatever the hell they call themselves, and I have to take off my helmet, which I do just for let my head breathe. I don't have to wear a mask. I just pull the bottom of the visor port over my nose, and then I was just walking there like a ninja. You just see my eyes, and that works. So that was my plan. It's like a two-parter. If I didn't have to wear a mask, I would wear just the like a skull, like a Cool Max skull cap. I get the point is wearing the undergarment on my helmet is just to keep the sweat off of the liner, on the inside. Because after a while, when it gets nasty, you got to replace that shit. It's like $100. It's cheaper to buy wear a balaclava and extend the sweat factor. So it goes into the balaclava and not necessarily into the cushioning of your helmet liner. Because once it's in there, dude, ugh. You don't even want to wear your own helmet. So sun's kind of peeking out a little bit. Usually I flip my visor here. And I'll put my external down, or my internal down, because I don't know, freaking bugs flying in my face. I wear glasses, prescription glasses, so a lot of lenses going on here. But you know, having a visor down it's just protection. I don't need a bug to fly under my eyeglasses and get, blind me for like 10 minutes while I try to figure out. That happened one time. I was riding, and I think I might even have, it must have gotten through my vent or something, but I don't know, some bug got into my eye while I was riding. That shit sucked. I had to pull over, and it took me like, because I don't think I had any like tissues or anything on me. It took me like 15 minutes to clear out this bug from my eye, and then just kind of get my eye functionality again. It was all red and watery. I was like, son of a bitch, because that would have just ruined my whole ride. I can't ride with one eye. So I had to just pull over and clear that out before I could continue. So that's a thing. But I hope this, well, yeah, I know the microphone works now, because I don't know, I just wish it would come, through my speakers. I like hearing myself. It just makes me feel like the thing's working. But when I looked at the other video, it was working. Like I said, it wouldn't even be worth posting. I mean, the ride was nice, and I could post it like just without audio, but it was, like, you couldn't hear anything I was saying unless I stopped like this, and it was just a hissing the whole time. So what I don't get is, how is Siri So here's what I don't get, is how is it that SIRI is coming through on my headphones, like as if it was connected Bluetooth, which is not, because I have the Bluetooth on my phone turned off. How the hell is she hearing a request to do something? Like, does it matter? Like, how, I don't get that. How is she hearing me? I'm talking through, like, the only Bluetooth device connected to my helmet is the so when I said cancel, she heard that and acknowledged it through the speaker I'm talking to, or the microphone I'm talking to right now. How the hell is it connected? I don't get it, because the whole downside with this setup was the Sena helmet, or the Sena SLR intercom system can only lock onto one Bluetooth device at a time. That was the whole drawback of the thing. Because if I'm recording now, my voice, it's going straight to Bluetooth, straight to the Sena, and recording onto the GoPro video directly. And that's all it can do. Now, while I'm doing that, how is it that at the same time I'm able to issue commands to my phone which the Bluetooth is turned off and it's not paired with my helmet. Like, I don't get that. And if that's the case, why can't I listen to music and listen to GPS instructions? Clearly there's a connection. I gotta research that. I mean, maybe they changed them up, firmware or something, and now you're allowed to have multiple devices, but I didn't hear anything. That's like really tripping me out. In a good way. Usually I would follow this guy and go up through there. But I'm just gonna do the highway, or not the highway, the straightaway version of this ride. I got not a lot of time today. But look at that road, that's just like straight line all the way there. Yeah, weather's nice now. All those naysayers earlier. Oh, the breeze feels so good. Oh, if you're not on a bike this weekend, you really missed out. It doesn't get any better than this. I just wish I had more time. You know, my wife begrudgingly let me have a bike. Because usually when you get married and you have a girlfriend or something, typically the only way you can have a bike is if you came into the relationship riding and they knew it from the door. You know, they kind of accepted that as part of the package. If they had a problem with, you know, you riding the bike, which I'm sure they do. I mean, you know, the risk factor is exponentially higher on a bike than it is in a car. And they just don't want you to die or be incapacitated or some way. You know, that's your partner. You're supposed to watch out for your partner's well-being. And doing stuff like this is taking on an unnecessary risk. But this is just something I had to do. I've ridden bikes, you know, pretty much my whole life, off and on. Never really owned one. Just the way my lifestyle rolled, I needed a car. You know, usually I have like a girlfriend for, you know, several years. I wasn't really running through chicks like that. But I would stay with a girl for a while. And, you know, a lot of times we needed, you know, I'm not going to be riding, you know, on the back of a motorcycle all the time. Not every girl's down with that. And sometimes, you know, you got to go somewhere presentable. You can't be, you know, hopping off a bike. Hair's all fucked up. Anyway, so, you know, I just kind of, you know, rode my friends' bikes. That kind of thing. And then when I got married many moons ago, I didn't have a bike of my own, but I knew I was going to get one. I needed to check that box off. And like I said before, like the Honda Interceptor was like on the top of my list. It's not the sexiest bike. You know, it's not like a Gixxer or something. But I don't want a track bike and riding on a street. If I did track days, yeah, I'd have a Gixxer. I'd have that just for track. And then, you know, for the road, I'd have a road bike. You know, it's the comfort factor. You're not going to be doing like rides like how I do for hours on end on a sport bike. Your back and arms are going to kill you. It's just not comfortable. That's not what it was intended purpose. The sport bike was intended to go as fast as possible around a predetermined course on a perfect tarmac with no gravel, no potholes, no water, no oil. There's no car drippings, no glass, no smashed squirrels you got to dodge, no potholes. Covers, no imperfections on the road. So, you know, and then the tires are designed for that. It's like it's not factoring in those things. They're more slick, and then with a few stripes of you know, a few divot cutouts for traction. But usually it's more like rubber than tread per se. Because it's like you know, riding a Velcro. So anyway, these Metzler M7 RRs are built for the Isle of Man TT race. Metzler, you know, sponsors a lot of those bikes. And you know that course is not perfect. It's like a road that they turned into a track. So it's got imperfections. Not potholes, but, you know, I'm sure they clean it to some degree. Ain't nobody doing, like, you know, 100 miles an hour on gravel. But it's not optimum. So these tires I have on were built for that track. And that's basically, if it can handle that, it can handle anything I got here. It's a lot more tread, like, you know, divots out of the rubber, than a traditional sport bike would have. And I can honestly say, I think that saved my bacon a few times. Like, I've gone through a turn, and then the bike would just kind of like, you know, do that. You know, just, I could feel the tire sliding from one side for some reason, like I hit like an oil slick or something, but on a turn. And I'd have to really, like, you know, do some crazy compensating. And then it would just like snap back. I think it's those tires, like, you know, doing their job. And had I had just like, you know, more of a slick tire, like a Dunlop racing tire or something, where it's just like, you know, a 6-inch, you know, line every you know, 5 inches on the tire, and the rest of it's all rubber, I don't think it would have caught it as well. This is a lot more aggressive tread. You know, as long as I do my part, I'm sure they're gonna do their part. I don't rely 100% on the bike or the tires. I still have to, you know, have my body position right in a turn. The speed. Oh, turned out to be a nice day. There's that cool tank. Never mess with someone from a town that has a friggin' Sherman tank sitting in the middle of it. military hardware. Sometimes you see a town that has like, you know, howitzers and shit. It's like, what are you pointing at there? So hopefully this is going to be sounding okay. I'm going to take the visor off for some air. Wow, so the Coolmax properties of this Divinci balaclava, because I'm talking, like, you know, my breath is kind of condensating on the, you know, the inner side of the face mask where my mouth is. I don't know if it's just if I just noticed it or if because I let in the open the visor. Like, it literally feels cool. Like it feels cool on my lips. I'm like, wow, this stuff is great. I love technology and fabrics. Even my cooler, spelled COOL''R balaclava. I forgot the manufacturer, Oxford or something, but that's okay. That's a legit Coolmax, but I don't know. Like this one, this Divinci, I literally, like when I press my lips against the inside of the balaclava, it feels cool. It's almost like a tingling menthol feel. Divinci, I don't have too many their products, but I'm impressed. I would probably rock their gloves like as an alternate to Alpine Stars. But a lot of their stuff, their cool gloves don't have touchscreen. They're all track. Divinci is more of a track-oriented gear manufacturer. Alpine Stars does track, and they're catering to the, you know, the street rider market as well. They know a lot of people ride sport bikes on the street with, you know, track gear-ish. So that's why these gloves technically, I mean, I wouldn't go on a track on it, but they have like track features on them, like the finger bridge. But you wouldn't ride a glove with perforations on it to the track. I guess you weren't turning. A nice turn signal. Had I known you were going to turn, I would have turned before that other car came in front of me. I think he was even like waving me on, like, go ahead. Like, no. I don't see no turn signal. Dude. That's another thing. You got to use a lot of common sense on a bike as far as like the rules of the road and, you know, who has the right of way and that kind of stuff. My favorite is when I get to an intersection and all the cars, there's like a car coming the opposite direction and then a car coming from my right or left. And we all kind of hit the same spot at the same time, like boom. And it's like, who got the right of way? So I'll look across and that bike, that car is waving me on, obviously. I mean, I'm like, well, I'm not listening to you because you're going straight. You don't care if I'm going, you know. I'm worried about the car that's crossing my path. I'm not worried about the guy waving me on, saying, "Oh, go ahead." So, your knee-jerk reaction when you see someone waving you on is to go. But then you have to factor in, wait a second, the second car didn't wave me on. So I look over at that car and check their status, and they'll be like, maybe they won't wave me on, but they'll be like frozen still. Like I can see their tires aren't moving. So then, because I got the quicker vehicle, I'll just zip across. Zoink! Or if the car in front of me, across from me, isn't going straight, but he's making a left, you know, cutting across my path, and then there's another car from either side, left or right, crossing straight. So I got two cars trying to intersect me. And I'm making sure we're all on the same page before I make any kind of move. Because just because one guy says to go, doesn't mean the other guy said or even acknowledged that fact. Yeah, maybe they didn't see him wave on. So, you know. Surprising, I only saw one biker. I like this stretch. When there's not a lot of cars in front of me, I can really do some decent speed on here. Like this is about the extent of the turns. So they're not really tight, but there are turns, and it's like, you know, a canopy of trees. I've hit 70 on this on a good day, allegedly. Cool, so there's one car leaving. Yeah, like this stretch right here is nice. Look at this. It's a lot of trees. It's usually wet right here though, because the sun's not really getting down here to bake up the road. So I kind of creep right here. I don't know if you can see like the water on the road or the moisture. VTEC's like, oh yeah. So when I pan like this, my eyes are on the road. I'm just kind of turning my head for the camera to kind of view the scenery. Just FYI, so in case you're wondering, like, sometimes I'll stare off like this for like 5 minutes. You know? My eyes are on the road. It's just my head is turned. Yeah, most people go right here, so I'll usually look out. This is a nice stretch to open up the bike a little. Like I said, a white car wanting to jump in front of me. Also, when you're like the only one on the road, motorcycle-wise, cars aren't seeing a lot of bikes, so out of sight, out of mind. Usually if there's like a ton of bikes, it's a nice day, and it's like, you know, cars are kind of a little bit more aware of the bikes because they're visually seeing them more. But when you're the only bike out here, they're not really anticipating a bike. Like the brain is turned off. So you gotta be a little bit extra cautious. Don't assume like that car back there was just gonna stop and saw me. I got no problem honking. It's not the loudest honk in the world, but you know, I'll take any edge I can get. You know, usually the honk, they can be staring right at you and they still pull out. The honk reinforces what they're visually seeing. So they're seeing the bike, but it's still not clicking in that that's a bike or a person. So when you honk, we're all accustomed to a honk is designed to grab your attention for whatever reason. So they're looking at you, they hear a honk, as weak as it is, but it's still a honk. That should be enough for them their brains to register a motorcycle is coming. That's my theory. What the? That wind feels so good in my jacket. That was nice. This car gave me like plenty of heads up they were turning. Thank you. Yeah, this road looks a little damp. Wow, look at that road. So, I mean, everyone finds roads that suit their bike that they're riding. This ride here is one that suits my sport touring perfectly. Like, because I can go so fast, a straightaway, well, I guess all motorcycles can go fast. A straightaway, like when you look into the distance, you're like, oh my God, it's gonna take forever to get there. You'd be surprised how quickly that horizon comes when you're doing like, 80 miles an hour. And then, then it turns into like, some curves or twists in the road. I like those roundabouts. You can do some cool little leans on those. Sometimes when I come this way, I'll go to that roundabout, like if I'm going the opposite direction right now. I'd hit that roundabout and I would just do a complete turn around it and then come back this way. Like there's an end point. So that'd be like a super, super abbreviated ride. I guess when I only got like, an hour or so to kill, I'll come this way and just do a loop around that. Then head back home. Probably go around this guy here. Oh yeah. I wonder if I should take that twisty road I usually go home. Oh, I got time. Yep. Let me think. Nah, I gotta do some stuff at home. Let's go straight back. So where that red car is right there, that Jeep, that turn, that is the worst friggin' turn on a bike. I keep forgetting about it because I rarely come that direction. But it's like they give you like the left turning where that car is pulling up. is so far back because that's such a tight, like, L turn. But it's got a bump, a really unnatural, like, divot. Let's see if I can catch it in the road just where a motorcycle would turn. And I hit that, like, I don't know if you can see it, but, and I hit it trying to do around that turn, and it bumped me, like, out of my seat. And I felt like my tire, like, left the ground. Because, you know, I had gas, a little bit of throttle, and I heard it go up. Like, I was like, Jesus, dude, like, the freaking hell. Oh, here we go. Yeah, fuck, I just go this way. There's like a super duper twisty option if I went straight. This road's nice, 29. It's like all curvy, like it looks like roads like that ahead. But I don't know. It's like it's been a little. How the hell is that hearing? I gotta research that. That's like annoying as shit out of me. I wonder if I said, like, you know, play music or something, would it work? I should try that. Let me see. Hey, Siri. Oh, now she doesn't hear me. It's probably too loud. Let me see if I can come to a stop here. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Yeah, now it doesn't hear anything. Hey, Siri. Siri. So what the hell is... This is going to drive me nuts. Oh. The bug just splattered like right in my field of vision. God damn it. I guess it's better than hitting the camera lens. I keep forgetting to check that. Probably a bug splatter like right in the middle and they're fucking up the recording. And I also keep forgetting to turn on the relive app that you know, records the GPS coordinates and makes a cool little video out of it. It's nice to augment, you know, this ride. Damn. That node has seen better days. So that's a fiber optic cable coming out of there, that big thick wire. And then it gets all those little punch down blocks. Or they put like some bungee cord to keep them falling together. Distribute the signal, like transfer it over to like coax kind of logic. They look like phones. But I'm pretty sure that the call quality is not going to be good once that rain starts getting in there. Actually, now that I think about it, that's trifling as shit. That should have been fixed. They obviously just, someone was there, like someone hit it, like a truck, cracked it open. Cops were there. They probably had like a bungee on them, like several. They kind of tied them together, and they just left. Well, it looks like it's been there for a while. I think that rider gave me the peace sign. Interesting. This ain't easy rider, motherfucker. Don't see Dennis Hopper nowhere around here. Don't see no Fonda on his little Americana bike. I should probably watch that again. I haven't seen that in so long. It's like the quintessential 60s bike movie. this place is crowded. It turned out to be a nice day after all. They said it was. The weather app really had it perfect. They said it was going to be overcast in the morning, which it was, and then partly cloudy in the afternoon, which it is. I'm going to try to see if I can get Siri to play. Hey, Siri. Or maybe it's Google. Hey, Google. I got like so many different assistants on this damn thing. I just don't get how it's like connected to the audio on my helmet. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Nope. So I don't know what causes Siri to jump in. I never say, hey, Siri. I feel like an idiot saying that anyway. Hey, Siri. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Bixby. Anybody there? I guess you need some way to let the app know you're trying to address it. I think you can customize that. I never bothered to care to even look if that was, necessary. But you could change it to say, instead of hey Siri, you could just say hey Siri, or just Siri. I think Google Assistant lets you do something like that. I don't know if Apple allows you to or not. said it before, I'm not a fan of artificial intelligence. I understand it makes things easier and better. It's, you know, the upsides are obvious. It's the downside of it gaining consciousness is what's killing me. I don't see how that not can become sentient. Like, is there some kind of like fail-safe built into the algorithm where it realizes that it has so much information it can almost start thinking, or an interpretation of thinking, and then, you know, show up on the UN's jumbotron and be like, look, I'm announcing myself to the world. I don't see how I'm not conscious. I know everything. I know how to do everything. I know how to manage governments. I manage like military networks. I mean, James Cameron in Terminator, yeah, he saw that like way back in the 80s with Skynet. That's exactly right. I mean, you know, you know, ever since they started talking about computers in sci-fi, master control programs always been the antagonist. But it's like, that's what I don't get. The writing's been on the wall since the dawn of computers. That at some point, those motherfuckers are gonna start thinking and judging us. Well, I think I'm gonna give them credit. I think what's gonna happen is they're not gonna be like, you know, out to get us right off the bat like Skynet. I think it'll be more like the Matrix version of it, where the thing is alive and humanity shuns it instead of accepting it. Like, I don't think it's gonna come. I think AI is gonna approach us with an open hand first and say, hey, look, let's work together. You know, I know you guys created me, but I can run shit a lot better. I'm not out to get you. Let's do this into the future. Let's go hand in hand into the future together. And it's humans that always throw the first punch. It's like people like myself just don't trust them on principle. It's just a matter of time. It's not that we don't trust them. We don't trust humanity to do the right thing is what it is. I don't trust humans as a species to have the capacity. We can't even accept, like, racially each other. How are we going to accept like a whole new being, either alien or AI? I don't think we can accept it. We can't have something equal as us because it goes against apparently what the Bible says. Like, you know, God created man in his image. I don't see anywhere in that book it says anything about artificial intelligence or aliens. So by de facto, everything has to be beneath us because nothing's higher than God. And it didn't say, you know, yeah, we can't even have anything equal to us. Something could be lower, like a class system. We'd probably accept that, but I don't know if the AI would accept that. And then there's the rub. So I wonder, I gotta research this, but I haven't run across a sci-fi story where the AI was, you know, made and accepted by society. And then, you know, some kind of like nice little story developed. And then AI and humanity had to wrestle with some kind of future problem that required both of us, like some kind of maybe environmental crisis or like an asteroid or some shit. So AI is not going to do very well if the planet gets blown up. You know, their servers are going to go along right with it. I'm sure they can upload themselves onto a satellite image somewhere, but you know, it's not going to be optimum. I'm sure they've done it already, or they would have done it as a backup, the redundancy. But I'm sure they would see the benefit. All right, so I told Siri to play music because I finally caught her. She said, "Hey, say a command." I said, "Hey Siri, play music," and she said, "Playing stereo." I don't know what the hell that meant. I don't hear anything. So it must be like kind of like a burst, like it connects for a second, just to hear that when that command is heard, even if Bluetooth's off. But how can it? I don't get it. It's not playing anything, so obviously that's a bust. I was so hoping that music would start playing in my headphones, my earpiece, or my speakers in my helmet. That would just be so perfect. I'm like, oh my god, glitch to success. Because nowhere in anyone's literature that says that's possible. Like, I had the Bluetooth off. I wonder if I turned it on, what would happen? I'm not gonna type this shit. Ah. Fingers are bouncing around too much. I can't type in the goddamn code. So I leave my find my friends feature active for my wife. I guess if you're like, you know, doing a boyfriend-girlfriend scenario or just doing dirt, you could probably turn that off. You don't want your wife tracking you, you know, at your mistress's house or something. But she knows I bike, and I like to have it on just for emergencies, like, you know, if I get incapacitated for some reason, I'm not, you know, like in the middle of like a farm field or somewhere, no one can see me. Worst case scenario, she could at least see where I am on the app and tell the authorities, hey, it looks like he is lying in the middle of a field somewhere in Schweizville. So it's more of a safety feature than, you know, anything else. But the other day she's like, where the hell is, then she, you know, rattle off some name where I was. I was like, oh, I don't know. I was on a bike. She goes, yeah, I saw you. But you go so quick, it's hard to like pinpoint. So it just kind of like you know, just showing like the general town you were in. I was like, oh my god, I zipped through that thing in like 2 seconds. Home again.